Good morning, welcome back to the channel Awesome Learning. Today we are going to do the next topic, fertilization and implantation. So children, let's see. During the copulation, now the copulation word means the coitus or the intercourse, when a male penetrates his penis into the vagina of the female. This process is called copulation. So during copulation, semen, now you all know what is semen, sperm plus all the secretions given by the glands like prostate gland, seminal vesicle and bulbourethral gland. So the secretion of all the glands plus the sperms together combine to form semen. So during copulation, the semen is released by the penis into the vagina. This process of releasing of semen is called insemination. Right? Now, children, fusion of sperm with ovum is called fertilization. This we know. Now, where does this fertilization takes place? It takes place in the ampullary region of the fallopian tube. So I told you that fallopian tube has many parts. So infundibulum, then isthmus and then ampulla. So the fusion takes place in the ampullary region of the fallopian tube. Okay, it takes place in the ampullary region of the fallopian tube. You see there is a chart shown here. Sperms enter into the vagina. From vagina they move on to the cervical canal. You know what is cervical canal? This is your cervical canal which connects the cervix and vagina. So the sperms will move through the cervical canal and then enter into the uterus. Then from after entering the uterus, they will move on to the isthmus. Okay, and from isthmus to the ampullary region, right, where they will wait for the sperm, where they will fuse with the egg, and after fusion, fertilization will occur. This was about sperm. Now let's see about the ovum. Ovum from the ovary, ovum inside the ovary is released. Then fimbriae, the finger-like projections, if you remember, fimbriae will catch hold this ovum, and it will help the ovum to move into the fallopian tube from infundibulum to ampulla. So you see both the sperm has also reached the ampullary region and the ovum has also reached the ampullary region. Now the fusion will take place. Okay. So children, fertilization happens only if ovum and sperm are transported simultaneously. That is, both of them are traveling at the same time and reaching the ampulla at the same time. So all the copulations do not lead to fertilization and pregnancy. That means if a couple is having copulations thrice a week or 5 times a week, that doesn't mean that every copulation they will be successful and the sperms and ovum will meet and every time there will be pregnancy. It doesn't mean that. So for fertilization and for having a pregnancy, both the ovum and the sperm should be matured at the same time. They should be released at the same time. They should reach the ampulla region at the same time. Then only the chances of fertilization and pregnancy will be there. Next, a sperm contacts with the zona pellucida. I told you that ovum, the outer layer of the ovum is zona pellucida. So whenever a sperm reaches the ovum, it will first come in contact with the zona pellucida of the ovum. Now, as the sperm comes in contact with the zona pellucida, see, so many sperms have tried to reach the zona pellucida, the red layer. You see, this is the zona pellucida, but only one of them will be successful in entering the sperms are millions in number, but only one of them can penetrate. So when they come in contact with the zona pellucida, it induces the changes in the membrane. As soon as the sperm comes in touch or in contact with the zona pellucida, this touching will induce a change in the membrane, and now the membrane will block the entry of additional sperms. So जो भी the one which has reached first, whichever sperm which has reached and touched the zona pellucida first, that touching will induce that touch is a stimulus, and that touching will induce a change in the membrane, and now the membrane will block the entry of additional sperms, because now the membrane has chosen its sperm, the one which reached the membrane first. Now this change in the membrane has occurred, and the other additional sperms are not able to enter the zona pellucida. Children, the secretions of the acrosome, you know what is acrosome? This is the portion of the sperm where the acrosome is present. So the secretions produced by acrosome help the sperm to enter the egg cytoplasm via zona pellucida and the plasma membrane. Now there are two coverings here. One is the zona pellucida, other is the plasma membrane. This yellow one is the plasma membrane and the red one is the zona pellucida. So now the sperm which is successful in reaching the ovum first, its acrosome will secrete certain enzymes which will help to dissolve the zona pellucida layer plus the plasma membrane of the ovum. Now this causes, now when this is going on, when the entry is going on, when the sperm is trying to enter the cytoplasm of the egg or the ovum, this will induce, or this will trigger the second meiotic division of the secondary oocyte to form an ovum or ooted and a secondary polar body. Now if you remember oogenesis, I told you that the meiotic division has occurred and secondary oocyte has been formed. But when will this process take place? Now is the situation when the second meiotic division will be done and the secondary oocyte or the ooted or the ovum will be completely formed and a second polar body is also formed. So children, you see the meiosis of egg mother cell is so long. It has started from the fetal stage and it is now complete when the sperm has tried to enter the ovum. This point is very important. Children, now the haploid nuclei, because the sperm is also having a nucleus which is haploid. So the haploid nucleus of the sperm and the haploid nucleus of the ovum will fuse together to form a diploid zygote. Am I clear? So this point is very important. Again, I am repeating that as soon as the acrosome will release certain enzymes, and these enzymes will help the sperm to enter into the zona pellucida and plasma membrane of the ovum, that point of time, second meiotic division will get completed and we will get two things, or two cells will be we will be getting. One is the secondary oocyte or the ovum or the ooted, and the other one is the second polar body. Okay children, the zygote has been formed and now the zygote is one cell. Okay, and it is diploid. Zygote is now one celled and it is diploid. This is zygote, one cell, and it has two nuclei, one from the sperm and one from the ovum, so it is 2N. Now this zygote will undergo mitotic divisions, and these mitotic divisions which occur in the zygote are known as cleavage. This 1 mark question can come. So the mitotic divisions that occur in zygote are known as cleavage, and it starts as it moves through the isthmus towards the uterus and forms 2, 4, 8, 16 daughter cells called blastomeres. So as the zygote has started moving now, you see the fusion has taken place in the ampullary region. Okay, now the fusion has taken place. Now they will move towards the uterus. Now the zygote is moving towards the uterus. So as the zygote is moving towards the uterus, the cleavage has also started. That means the movement of zygote and the cleavage in zygote are occurring simultaneously. They are both taking place at same time. So now when the zygote is traveling, so it is also getting divided. So when it is traveling, it is also getting divided from 2 cells, then to 4 cells, then to 8 cell stage, and then to 16 cell stage. And these daughter cells are called blastomeres. These cells are known as blastomeres. So if I ask you at 2 cell stage how many blastomeres are there, you will say 2. At 4 cell stage how many blastomeres are there, you will say 4. Clear? Now children, when it has reached these stages, the embryo, now after the zygote, this zygote will develop into embryo. So you see the embryo with 8 to 16 blastomeres. From 8 to 16, when it comes to the stage of 8 or 16, then we do not call it as zygote, then we use the term embryo. So now the embryo, either the embryo is 8 cell stage or it is in 16 cell stage. The embryo with 8 to 16 blastomeres is now known as morula. Now we call it as morula. Children, morula again is dividing, and now it is getting transformed into a structure called blastocyst. Now you see blastocyst is a structure which has lot of empty space and little bit of cells are cornered to one point and one layer of cell all around. So this structure is known as blastocyst. Okay, children, in blastocyst, the blastomeres, I told you all the cells individually are known as blastomeres. So in blastocyst, the blastomeres are arranged into an outer layer which is known as trophoblast and an inner cell mass which is attached to the trophoblast. Again, let me show you the outer layer. This is the outer layer which is the trophoblast, and an inner cell mass which is attached to the trophoblast. You can see. So this is the structure of a blastocyst. The trophoblast layer, that means the outer layer, gives nourishment to the inner cell mass. They can ask you 1 mark question, what is the function of trophoblast? So the trophoblast, which is single layer, this provides nourishment to the inner cell mass, and this trophoblast is also useful in attaching the blastocyst to the endometrium. We all know that this embryo or this blastocyst has to reach to the uterus where it will get implanted. Now how will it get implanted? How will it get attached to the uterus wall? This trophoblast will attach to the endometrium lining of the uterus. Now the inner cell mass, that is these cells which are at a particular corner and they are also attached to the trophoblast, these inner cell mass get differentiated. These are the cells which will again divide. You know what is differentiation? When a particular type of cell takes up a particular shape, size and function, then we say that these cells have differentiated themselves from other cells, right? Few cells are long, few cells are round, few cells are oval. They have taken a particular shape and a particular function. So we say that they have differentiated themselves from others. Similarly, the inner cell mass also gets differentiated into three germ layers. That is why we call such organisms to be triploblastic. And the three germ layers are: outer one is the ectoderm, middle one is the mesoderm, and the inner one is the endoderm. Okay, the endoderm, the ectoderm, and the middle one is the mesoderm. So this three-layered structure now is called gastrula. When the structure is three-layered, it is called gastrula. So you have understood which stage we call it as blastula. This was the stage when we call it as blastula. Now, next is the stage when the inner cell mass have been differentiated. We call it as gastrula. These are the forms of embryo, different forms of embryo. Children, after the attachment, now as I told you, the these are the trophoblast, and these are the inner cell mass. I told you that trophoblasts are the ones which will help to attach with the endometrium lining of the uterus. So as that attachment is done, uterine walls divide. These uterine cell walls will divide rapidly, and they will try to cover the blastocyst. See, the uterus wall here are not covering the blastocyst, but after some time they are trying to cover the blastocyst, and when the blastocyst becomes embedded, it is now fixed inside the uterine wall of the endometrium, then this procedure is called implantation. Now we say that the blastocyst has been implanted in the endometrium lining of the uterus, and the process is known as implantation. So this is the whole procedure which has been explained through a diagram. You can see, right? Ovary here, secondary oocyte, it has been released at the secondary oocyte stage. The fusion has occurred here. You see, this is the fusion. The fusion has occurred here. Now both the cells nucleus will fuse together. Zygote has been formed. Now the zygote is traveling and it is also dividing side by side. So from 1 cell to 2 cell, from 2 to 4, from 4 to 8, and now it has tried to come down into the uterus, and while doing so, this is known as morula. 8 to 16 cell stage is called morula, and now the morula has divided or differentiated itself into a blastocyst, you see, and now this blastocyst has been implanted into the endometrium lining of the uterus. So this is about implantation and fertilization.